Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us here. We will be getting started in a few minutes. So you are early, which we genuinely appreciate. We will, again, just wait a few minutes to let people keep coming in here and logging on, and then we'll get started. Good evening, everybody. It is 6 o'clock, so if you are just logging in here and checking us out, number one, thank you for joining us. My name is Mr. Byes. I'm one of our assistant principals. We are going to wait just a couple more minutes to allow people a chance to join us, and then we will get started. So thank you for being with us. We'll get started in just about 2 minutes here. All right, I am going to go ahead and get us started. Again, I know we have some more people logging in, and so we will allow them to keep joining us as they do, but I want to respect your time. For those of you who had just gotten in about a minute or so ago, my name is Mr. Byes. I am one of our assistant principals. Specifically, I am over grades 11 and 12. So you are joining us today because it may be hard for you to believe, but your babies next year will be seniors. And they will be, before we all know it, walking across that stage and going on to do amazing things. And we want to make sure that as we look forward to their senior year, we have everything lined up to get them across that stage and get them on, again, to whatever it is that they want to do. So that is the purpose of tonight. The purpose of tonight is to make sure that we go over everything that you need to know in regards to what classes your students should be taking next year so that they then can set themselves up for their post-secondary goals. So for some of them, that'll be important things like making sure they knock out all their graduation requirements. Other students, we definitely want to be thinking about AP and other opportunities. And so along with me here, I have two experts in the room. I have Ms. Cole, who is our 11th grade junior counselor, and Mr. Moore, who is our curriculum coordinator. and they are going to both help us walk through this presentation and make sure that you completely understand what's coming next year and what sort of classes your student needs to be signed up for. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Cole. And Ms. Cole, you can go ahead and get us started here.
Thank you, Mr. Bies. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming tonight. As Mr. Bies stated, we don't want to hold you up, but I definitely want to address all of the questions that I've been getting from the past couple of weeks from my students and families. So definitely welcome for coming tonight. I think you guys have the option to write comments in the StreamYard that we're using. So if you do have a question as I'm going over something, please feel free to put that question in the comments and then we'll get back to you with a response. But as you all can see, so for your senior year, these are the requirements that are required for your children to be promoted to 12th grade. It includes 21 credits, 2 service learning projects, and then during your senior year, you'll end up doing recommendation letters, college applications, college visits, college fairs, and that's something that is contingent upon, the world will open up and everything of that nature. AP and IB testing and an opportunity to be part of work study programs. So I know I spoke about you needing 21 credits to get to your senior year. However, you need 24 credits to graduate. So on this slide, it actually shows a list of what is required per subject. So for English, you need 4 years of English. So English 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 years of math, which is integrated math 1, 2, and 3. And they're usually, so most of the classes are offered. So integrated math is offered in 9th, 2 in 10th, and then the third one is offered during 11th grade. So a lot of the classes are offered from freshman year to your junior year. So a lot of these classes, students typically would be completing this year. 3 years of science, biology, chemistry, and physics. 3 years of history, world studies, U.S. history, and civics. 1 year of a career education course, and there is a lot of courses that could be considered a career education course, and we'll be going over that later. 1 year of computer science. A lot of our students are taking a fundamentals of IT class, and that will be considered computer science. You need 2 years of PE, so that's PE 1 and PE 2. 2 years of a world language, so we have Spanish and we have French at Morgan Park. So you will be taking Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, or French 1 and French 2. 2 years of fine arts, and that will consist of music and art and any thing that falls under that category, and then 3 years of electives. So you have a host of classes that can be listed as electives as well, and you'll learn about those later. So outside of those 24 credits, there's also something that's called non-credit-bearing graduation requirements that CPS have for all of our students. And I just kind of wanted to go over that. So you need 24 credits to graduate with those specific areas that I just went over. However, your student also needs to have completed the following things. They need to have taken health, driver's education, completed 2 service learning projects, which is usually done in the English and civics class, the SAT exam, and you're going to learn more about that later. But the juniors are scheduled to take the SAT, sorry, my apologies, the SAT on April 13th and in person. You'll learn about that later. The consumer education course, many of the students are going to be completing the consumer ed requirement during their civics class this year. The Constitution exam, they should have completed that last year at U.S. history. I know some students transferred in, so that is something that they would have taken probably earlier, or they could be taking it now, but they do have a Constitution exam that they have to complete. So for their senior year, there's something called Learn, Plan, Succeed, which is a senior Naviance test that students will have to complete. So they give students the option to choose a specific post-secondary field, and they have to submit certain things to CPS to prove that they are that they have selected that particular post-secondary goal. And then this year they added something new for all CPS students, and that is a financial aid application. Even if many of our students have already expressed to me, like Ms. Cole, I'm interested into the military, I'm interested in doing a job program, which is fine. However, CPS wants all students to have a financial aid application completed. And that's something that we'll be going over, starting to go into the classes to speak with students. So you'll learn more about that, but that is something that they will have to complete for their senior year, not this year, their senior year. And then a note, you will not graduate without each non-credit bearing requirement completed for CPS. So you can have 24 credits, but if you don't have the non-credit bearing graduation requirements completed as well, you will not be able to graduate.
Ms. Cole, I'm going to go back one slide real quick, just in case we had a couple people who just logged in. So again, if you're just joining us, we just got started. We went over first that you need 24 credits in these areas to make sure that you are eligible to graduate. And then secondly, in addition to getting those 24 credits in these specific areas, then you also, Ms. Cole just finished going over what we call the non-credit bearing graduation requirements that you also need to satisfy the CPS graduation requirements. It's a lot of things. And so even if you were here for everything Ms. Cole said, I just want you to know that we will be here to help you and make sure that you've got these things done in the correct timeline. But we just also don't want you to be caught off guard by anything. So we just want to make sure that you're aware of everything that's at play here. But again, that's just especially for those people who may be logging in just a few minutes late. That's to catch you up to where we are right now. Thanks, Ms. Cole.
No problem. So another thing you just want to keep in mind is that your grades matter. Students will receive classes as far as like scheduling for next year based upon the satisfaction of their graduation requirements. So we do have a lot of students that transfer in, and so we're going to go over some things that are offered to you. But I just want to say that a lot of students, when we start scheduling you guys for next year, you would start to see that certain students may have different classes as well, because we're trying to get you all graduated. So I just wanted to say that. Students receive quarter grades 4 times a year. So they get quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. However, at the end of quarter 2, they get a semester 1 grade. And then at the end of quarter 4, they get a semester 2 grade. And that is what we see on their transcript. And that's how we know whether or not they'll get that half a credit, which is required for graduation purposes. Okay. So students need 21 credits again to be a senior, and they need 24 credits to graduate. For many students that may say, okay, Ms. Cole, I need to earn credit recovery. So we have evening school and summer school. But for the current semester, evening school has already started. But if you are one of the students that know that I have a class that I need to complete, because I wasn't able to finish it before, then you will be one of the students that I'm going to be encouraging to attend summer school. So again, evening school has already started for this current semester. However, the next option is going to be summer school.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Cole. I'm Jerry Moore. I'm curriculum coordinator as well as AP coordinator and assessment coordinator. I'll probably touch on all of those in the next couple minutes. But right now I get to talk about advanced level coursework. As rising seniors, students are getting more and more openings in their schedules in which they can pick and choose some of their classes. We here at Morgan Park encourage our seniors to fill up some of those elective gaps with advanced level coursework. Now you might be thinking, oh, I'm a senior, I just want an easy schedule. No, there are certain advantages to taking advanced level coursework. You can earn college credit in high school. You don't have to wait until post-secondary to start amassing those credits. And by doing so in high school, you're saving money. By taking those college classes in high school, you can experience the rigor of a college class. Believe it or not, you can also increase your GPA. When you start taking advanced level classes, an A, instead of being worth 4 points on the regular scale or 5 points on the honor scale, an A is now worth 6 points. A B is now worth 5 points. So those students who really want to prop up their GPAs and make themselves stand out in the college selection process, this is an opportunity to do so. Moreover, college admissions people like to see students who have stretched themselves. They like to see students who take the advanced classes, either AP or dual credit. More about that in a little bit. They much rather see that than just the student who's going to take, introduction to piano or just basic elective classes. Again, you can save money by not having to pay the college tuition and get the college credit, but you can also save time in college by getting a couple college classes under your belt. Now you will give yourself an opportunity to take what might be an interesting class that you don't necessarily need for your major, however, that you'd want to pursue out of your interest because you've already acquired that class in high school, so you don't have to do it in college. Okay, the advanced level courses that we offer, besides the IBDP or the IBCP, which if you're not in it now as rising seniors, since both IB diploma program and IB career-related program are 2-year programs, we have these advanced level courses for you. Mainly they come in 3 categories: advanced placement, dual credit, and dual enrollment. You see with the advanced placement list, we have a bunch of classes that the school has picked and chosen for several reasons. The greatest probably being because they cater to student interest and a wide variety of student interest. We also offer the dual credit Math 118 or Math 140. Both of those are semester classes. You switch at the semester. And you get the college credit from that. And then we have dual enrollment. Advanced placement classes or advanced placement period is a program of classes that's been developed by College Board. That's the same organization which has developed the SAT and the PSAT tests. So they're a program of classes that students can pick and choose from. And these classes are more or less introductory college level classes. So like an English literature would be an English 101. Biology would be a Bio 101. It gives the students the experience as well as the opportunity for earning that college credit before they even graduate high school. A couple more details about advanced placement classes. They reflect the college and university level expectations. So when you, it's your first class in college, you know what to expect because you've been exposed to it through the advanced placement courses. AP courses are taught by high school teachers, Morgan Park teachers who've gone through extensive training that College Board issues. So they know what College Board is looking for on the AP exams, and they know how to convey it to students. Speaking of exams, AP courses culminate with a summative test. And based on how you do on that summative exam, you are awarded the college credit. If you take, for instance, AP Psychology, you'll be taking the AP Psychology exam in May and not the whole battery of exams. Sometimes students get scared off because they think, oh, well, I've enrolled in an AP class, I've got to take all these tests. No. You only take the exam that you've been prepared for. Another program we have at Morgan Park that offers advanced coursework is dual credit. In dual credit, students are enrolled in the Chicago City colleges as well as their high school students. By successfully completing a dual credit class, you get credit towards the high school graduation requirement as well as college credit awarded by the Chicago City colleges. A couple caveats or warnings about dual credit, or requirements, I should say, not necessarily warnings. Students have to be at least a junior or senior. You all fit that bill. Students have to be college ready as determined by their SAT score or a Chicago City College placement test. Dual credit classes are taken at Morgan Park and are taught by qualified Morgan Park High School teachers. These teachers must have a master's degree in their content area, and they are considered adjunct or extra members of the staff members of the Chicago City colleges. Dual enrollment, on the other hand, is a little different. All the requirements are there. the same as dual credit. However, in dual enrollment, students go to the Chicago City College campus and are instructed by Chicago City College full-time staff. We also offer dual enrollment opportunities through other institutes of higher learning, such as Chicago State University. We try to pick and choose classes that, again, cater to student interests. In the past, students have enrolled in dual enrollment English, dual enrollment social studies, as well as dual enrollment art. Okay, these are some of the other requirements. You must meet the SAT English benchmark of 480 or above. You must get a math score of 530 or above. If you don't attain those because the SAT was just too overwhelming, Chicago City College also offers some placement tests that you can take online and hopefully place into the class during that. You should have a 90% attendance rate. However, teachers, counselors, coordinators can also give some recommendations, especially during this turbulent year. You must have a 2.5 grade point average, or again, a teacher, counselor, or coordinator recommendation.
Mr. Moore, I'm going to pause there for just a second for two reasons.
Okay.
Number one, I'm going to pause so that we can have a chance to answer any questions. If you have any questions, please put those in the chat there. And I'm also going to let our wonderful Miss Cole back in because I think somehow we lost her and we want to make sure she doesn't miss it either. So, but please, if you have any questions, I know we're putting a lot of information out there right now. Feel free to put any questions in the chat. We will try to answer those as they come in. And if we cannot answer them here in the moment, we will certainly get back to you about those. But yeah, again, we are very, very excited for this. If you logged in a little bit later, what we have done so far today is we have talked about CPS graduation requirements for juniors and what they need to get done prior to next year as seniors, and then also what they need to get done as seniors to be able to graduate. And then we've talked about, because this whole presentation is about, what classes your student can take as a senior, we've talked about not only what's required, but what really opportunities are available. And that is those AP opportunities, those dual credit opportunities, those dual enrollment opportunities. And dual credit and dual enrollment is just a wonderful thing that gets you connected to City Colleges of Chicago, and you can take college courses while still in high school. So that is in very, very quick summary of what we've talked about up to this point. I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Moore and Ms. Cole to pick up where we left off with our next slide. And I believe we did this one already. Mr. Moore,
that's a duplicate slide. It's just my conclusion, kind of like my introduction. Hopefully now you understand the advantages of taking advanced level coursework. Earn that college credit in high school, save yourself some time and money when you get to college. Experience the rigors of a college class before you are actually paying for it. You can give your GPA a final boost before you graduate. You can make yourself stand out in college admissions with that boost to your GPA, as well as as well as evidence of the fact that you're a serious scholar willing to stretch yourself.
Yeah, and the reality is here that the students that we have at Morgan Park, you're a special group of students. And it's not a matter of getting through your senior year and just doing the bare minimum, what you have to do to graduate. When you're a special person, you want to do, the maximum amount of things that you can take advantage of. And oftentimes for students, that's taking advantage of these sorts of things, these AP, these dual enrollment, these dual credit classes. So that's why we're really, making sure that you're aware of them, because we know you're capable, and we don't want senior year to be something that's just like dragging out, let me get through it. We want senior year to say, what can I get out of this, and how can I make the most of this? And that's certainly something that you are all capable of. And because of that, we want to make sure that you take advantage of these sorts of things. So on to our next slide here.
Before we do that, Mr. Baez, I'd like to reach out and answer a couple questions. Ms. Driver, cluster students don't take the SAT. Cluster students take the DLM, and Ms. Hayes-Causey will be reaching out to you regarding that assessment. Ms. Ramsey, no deadline for enrolling because we haven't started the course selection process yet. When the student meets with the counselor will be in charge of enrolling the student, discuss the pros and cons, etc. And it depends on the student how many AP courses I would recommend them taking. If it's their first experience with an advanced placement class, I'd limit it to 1, maybe 2 at the tops. If they've already enrolled in 1 or 2 in their junior year, it would be the counselor, yours, and the student's decision as to how many classes you want to take, because we do expect all our AP students to sit for that summative assessment in May. And that is roughly a 2.5, 3 hour assessment. Not saying that any student can't handle that, but it does take a caliber of student to do it. So again, maybe start off easy. However, you know your student best. That's a decision that you'll sit down and have with the student. And obviously, you can always reach out to me if you want some more advice on it. Okay, as far as choosing courses for next year, counselors will be contacting students, but you should be looking at the school website for our Student Curriculum and Planning Guide 2021-2022. That gives course descriptions more than I could ever do justice to. It contains all the information that Ms. Cole just went over with you. And it shows more or less the curricular pathways that your student has just progressed through. However, you should remember that counselors will be contacting students to choose the courses for next year, starting after spring break. So students, it's up to you to check your CPS email for these invites from your counselors. Otherwise, advance, Mr. Baez. Otherwise, if students fail to respond to their counselors, the counselors will be forced to choose the student classes for them. And we don't want that to happen. We want students to be able to advocate them for themselves. We want students to be engaged in the process because it's going to be the student's senior year next year. And now if there are any other questions, feel free to please post them.
Ms. Cole, do you have anything final that you would like to add?
I just kind of wanted to respond to Ms. Ramsey's question in regards to how many classes can a student take in regards to dual enrollment in AP courses. I do know that when I'm meeting with some of my students, the meetings are going to be slightly different because certain students, every student will have a different requirement that they may not have met already. So the conversation will be based, what I plan to do is to let them know the classes that they need as far as a graduation requirement. And then from there, I'll have the discussion about the dual enrollment AP courses that can be added into their schedule if there's room. We are given schedules from different schools and times and things like that in regards to when they're offering the classes. So we base upon that schedule as well. That's one of the things I'm definitely going to be doing when I'm meeting with the student.
Yep. And, I would just like to take this opportunity to really reiterate what Mr. Moore and Ms. Cole both said, right? Like, we are here to help you. We are here to help the students make sure that they are in the right courses that, again, not only set them up for graduation, but more importantly, set them up so that they are on track to accomplish whatever it is they want to do once they graduate. If you were joining us, or if you did join us a couple months ago when we talked about, what happens after the SAT, there's so many different paths that students could take. And our job here is to just make sure you're prepared and that you feel well equipped to go on whatever path it is that you choose. And we take that job very seriously. And we definitely want to make sure you feel supported in that, both students and parents and guardians in that process. So, at this point in time, unless Mr. Moore or Mr. Cole have anything else to add, that gives you a good overview of what programming will look like. We will hang around here for another few minutes. If you have questions or comments, I haven't checked the chat recently, but we will certainly stick around for a few minutes. If you have those, you can put those in there and we'll address those. But if not, again, what always happens to me is you log off and about 3 minutes later, that question pops into your head. And if that happens, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here for you, and we will make sure that we get those questions answered. But look for those emails from Ms. Cole specifically after we get back from spring break so that you can sign up for a time to meet with her and that you can start to pick those classes that best fit your needs for your senior year. So, Mr. Moore, Ms. Cole, anything else before we say goodbye here?
Have a great spring break. Oh, you know what, Mr. Bies, let me discuss briefly SAT. As Ms. Cole mentioned, all juniors in the state of Illinois have to take the school day SAT. It's a very specific SAT. It's not a weekend SAT that they go on and take on their own. Morgan Park is going to be giving the school day SAT in person to all our juniors April 13th. That's the second Tuesday after spring break. We really want to do this now, especially in the advent of students coming back to CPS schools. I will be sending out time slots that students have been assigned to show up so we can assure social distancing. They'll be in half-hour frames. We want all our juniors to test on the 13th, so that is one of those non-credit bearing graduation requirements that they can check off their list. Again, you'll be getting more information from me. I've got to go to a CPS webinar about state assessment on Thursday. As soon as I get all the final details, I'll be sending out an email to students as well as to parents. But keep that date, April 13th, in the back of your head. This year, students will be taking the SAT without the essay, so it will be a slightly shorter duration, but it's approximately a 3.5 hour exam. Get a good night's sleep the night before. Bring pencils to the test. Bring a calculator that students are comfortable with using to the test, and we're going to kick butt.
We sure will. And again, all of that information will be in some emails that we send before spring break. So that's why it's so important to check those emails. Mr. Moore will be sending that about the SAT, Ms. Cole about programming once we get back from spring break. So again, thank you, everyone. We know it's a very busy time. We know that people are getting sick of logging on to computers after a year of doing it, but we appreciate you taking the time and logging in and spending this time with us. And we look forward to supporting you and working with you in the months and year to come here. So have a great night, and we will talk to you all soon. Mr. Moore, Ms. Cole, I'm just going to wait a second here. We are still live. I'm just going to wait a second and make sure we don't have any questions that come through before I end our broadcast.
Got it. The first.
Ms.
Let's do
Bates,
that.
that question. Go ahead, Ms. Cole.
Jennifer, let's get that done as soon as possible. I know that's something that you could do right now. You don't have to do it like right now, but I'm just saying.
You're talking, Ms. Cole, to the question from Ms. Bates there? Yeah. I know they extended it through today. I'm not sure if that cutoff, though, was at 5 p.m. So, let me check on that for you here. And then, Jennifer, we'll let you know. But I want you to do me a favor. I want you to email me. And I know my email address just came in under Dr. Skanes' name, but email me what your preference is, because even if the cutoff is, you can no longer enter it on your own, I want to see if I can enter it for you. I can't make any promises, but we can see what we can do. So, and with that, everyone, my email address, again, is in there in the chat, dbuys1@cps.edu. If you have questions that you think of, like I said, inevitably, as soon as we log off, it'll probably happen to at least one person. Just email me, and I can make sure that if I cannot answer that question for you, I will connect you to someone who can. So we're going to log off. Stay safe. Take care. Thank you for joining us, and we will talk soon.